My name is Kimhia, and I am half of TwoSsaints.
I am Indira Toussaint, and I'm the other half of TwoSaints.
So what is TwoSaints?
TwoSaints, essentially, we're an education and cultural arts platform. A lot of our work is focused on the preservation of our traditional heritage.
But how did all of this start?
During the pandemic, as we just wanted to start a page that was based on our sisterhood and the things that we love, and Creole is such a big part of that in our household.
How do you guys truly preserve tradition?
Keeping a lot of things digital is one way in which we appeal to new audiences, because you literally never know who's watching you, who's sharing your content, who has eyes on it.
Do you guys see yourselves as cultural educators, performers, or both?
As TwoSaints, we're definitely cultural educators, but we're also human beings, right?
This episode was recorded on riverside.fm. Log on today to start your own podcasting journey. Hello guys, how are you doing?
Hello.
Hello, we are well. How are you?
Fantastic. I will first and foremost want to give you guys the opportunity to introduce yourself to my audience. I don't take it for granted that they know you, even if I think that you guys are famous, but I will give you guys the opportunity to introduce yourself to my platform. So either one of you can go first.
Oldest.
Okay.
Age before beauty, they say. Hello,
Oh, wow.
my name is Kimhia, and I am half of TwoSaints.
Okay.
And I am Indira Toussaint, and I'm the other half of TwoSaints.
Okay. So both of you said that you are halves of TwoSaints. I want a perspective from both of you guys. What is TwoSaints?
Sure. TwoSaints. This is kind of stealing some of Kim's words. Kim likes to say that TwoSaints is our love service, which can be quite confusing. Like, what the hell does
Okay.
that mean? But TwoSaints, essentially, we're an education and cultural arts platform. A lot of our work is focused on the preservation of our traditional heritage. So we do a lot of work around Creole, whether that's teaching Creole, and we also do a lot of artistic practices. So we run residencies for artists. We collaborate with a lot of artists on ground and of the diaspora to preserve the artistic forms that we have in and around Saint Lucia.
Nice. Kim?
She's pretty much said it all. It is our love service. It is the thing that we do to give back and extend our love to St. Lucia, to the Caribbean, and the things that we were raised in.
Lovely. Now, if you didn't say, "Oh, let's go first," I would have honestly thought that you guys were twins. Honestly,
As with everyone.
I'm sure that you've gotten this before. So
Youth is
yeah,
still on my side.
there's that.
Is the fact that now I have hair. I oftentimes don't have hair, but like people are still thinking we're twins. I'm like, this one, we don't look the same.
You
Like,
don't see it. I
no.
see it. You do look the same, but we'll not argue on that. Let's move on. All right. All right. So I, I'm interested in how all of this started. I am of the knowledge that you guys are Saint Lucian, have Saint Lucian background. But how did all of this start?
Um,
Anybody can go first.
During the pandemic, when I guess it was a real time for stillness around the world,
Mhm.
and thinking, what do we were always together and wanted to know, we're thinking of what do we want our outpour to be. And so we started this Instagram page, and we'd had the name for ages, but we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do. And I guess in the pandemic, it gave us space and time to think and to breathe. And so we just wanted to start a page that was based on our sisterhood, and the things that we love, and Creole is such a big part of that in our household. And in doing that, TwoSaints was formed and born, and everything else that came after it.
Nice. So then, and Indira can speak on that. Maybe both of you can share as well. Why is Creole such a big deal for you guys?
Yeah, as somebody who, so we're both born in
Mm-hmm.
Saint Lucia. I left Saint Lucia when I was quite young. I left Saint Lucia, yeah, very, very young. And so I have, whether one wants to call it a privilege or a chip on my
Mm-hmm.
shoulder or whatever. And I kind of sit in two spaces where I'm able to see how language and how Creole connects people to their land, to their home, to their selves. Because I left when I was so young, at one point in life, I was actually forgetting Creole. Like within the first year that I
Mm-hmm.
moved, I was around 5, 6, and my mother implemented a rule in the house to say that we could only speak Creole at
Wow.
home. So anytime I'd speak to Kim was told that she could only speak to me in Creole. My mother would only speak to me in Creole, so that my language skills could improve and get back to what they were when I lived in Saint Lucia. And being a child of the diaspora, growing up in England, growing up in London, you have the privilege of being around so many people. You know, I can tell you things in Turkish, I can tell you things in Arabic, I can tell you things in so many different languages because I went to school with loads of different
Right.
people. But it was just, you really do get to see how children grow into adults, and who they become is based on their sense of groundedness. And so Creole and your home language is so important for us because yeah, it's a sense of self, a sense of pride, it's a sense of connection that
Hmm.
no one can tell you about yourself once you're connected. Language really does
I
connect
love
you.
that. I love that. Do you
Oh,
agree, Kim? It seems
absolutely,
like you're
absolutely. I
agreeing.
was like, yeah, she's
Uh,
preaching. But no, absolutely. 100%.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so I'm interested in the name. So the name is Two Saints. Why Two
So,
Saints?
TwoSaints is actually a play on our last name, Toussaint.
Okay.
And I think our
Mm-hmm.
last name in itself holds so much power. And when we were starting this brand, this business, this thing, we wanted to do a play on our last name, but then also there's two of us.
Got you.
The duality because of the sisterhood of there's
Ah,
two of us, there's things that Indira is amazing at and things I'm amazing at in different capacities. So I think it really fulfills that space of there being two of us and starting something new, but based off our last name.
got you.
Yeah, and also, like I was saying about that connection that we have with the diaspora world as also being Saint Lucian born and with zero generation immigrants, that we also sit in a really beautiful space where we connect. We're able to be like connectors to a lot of things. So the word two combines that. Um, and so yeah, a lot of the work that we do is related to the diaspora, as well as those in Saint Lucia. And so it's that connecting again, that two. There's a whole lot of
All
meaning.
right.
There's a whole lot
All
of
right.
meaning.
I can tell that, and I'm guessing as this brand continues to grow, then there'll be even more meaning coming through it, because good brands tend to do that. It starts off as one thing, and as it evolves, it becomes more and more and more, because it becomes different things to different people. So I'm seeing that similar to
Mhm.
you guys, right? All right. So we spoke
Yeah.
about why Kweyol is important to you, but why is Kweyol important in general? That's I think that might be a
Can't wait
loaded
to
question. So
hear.
Indira, go ahead.
Sure. Like I said about that sense of self that you have in Creole, I think oftentimes when someone speaks Creole, they will say that Creole is a
Mm,
feeling, Creole is a sense. You can speak Creole and sure your vocabulary, your grammar can be okay and whatever. But when you speak Creole, the things that you can express in Creole, it's an essence in and of itself. And it's important that we continue that. That is a sense of pride, it's a sense of preservation, it's a sense of
mm,
respect to our ancestors. And it's so funny actually, when I say the word ancestors, I was having this conversation with a friend, and she was saying sometimes when we say the word ancestors, people think of it as such an abstract
hmm.
thing. The word ancestors, you just see it in a book, like ancestors, ancestors, ancestors. But that's your
Yeah.
family, you know. It's our family. You're paying respect to your family, to those who came, who were taken from their homes onto foreign new lands and had to figure out a way of communicating. You know, our history as Saint Lucians, as people who speak Creole, especially the Creole that we do. is that we're an amalgamation of people. You know, we have French in our language, we have Wolof, we have Mandinka, we have some English words in there, and so it's also, yeah, it's recognizing that, it's being proud of that, and it's preserving that and respecting that. And then to the point of, you know, the development of Creole, it also says that yeah, we're proud to be who we are. So that's why Creole is important.
Nice, nice.
100%. But also, I think just even in a sense of how it then connects you to other people and other things beyond yourself that you sometimes don't even realize. For example, just having a second language, the way that you're then able to pick up other languages, it makes it so much easier because you have that understanding that the sentence doesn't always have to be the cat sat on the mat, rather than sometimes it could be the mat sat on the cat, about the order of words, and you don't necessarily have, you don't think about it sometimes in English, but then when you have to then learn a new language, you really don't realize sometimes how the syntax of that is so different. And I think Creole plays such an important role in, if you have the skill
Mm.
and you have it, you may as well just embrace it.
For sure, for sure. It is a, and we don't often think of it as a skill as Saint Lucians, as people who can speak, you know, these other languages, because solutions are really bilingual, and
Oh.
solutions don't even think of themselves as that. They are bilingual because these are two different languages, right? And the ability to speak these two languages is a skill that so many people around the world want to have, wish
Mm-hmm.
they had, and Saint Lucians have that skill, and you know we sometimes don't see the value in it, but I'm hearing that not only do you guys see the value in it, but that you are celebrating it, and it's something that is commendable. It's something that I really am inspired by, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. To the point that you're saying, you know, that we don't even realize that we're
Yep.
bilingual is because we
Mm.
don't even see Creole as a
Well, that's true.
language. For so long, we are told that Creole is a dialect, Creole is a
Yeah,
dialect, but Creole is a
it is.
language. Creole has syntax, it has grammar, and it's you know, like Kim says, put some respect on our language, put some
Yep.
respect on our family, put some respect on our ancestors, that they formed a whole language to communicate with. And once we re-educate ourselves about the fact that we speak a language, that opens so many doors to us
Right.
rather than being ashamed of our
For
history.
sure. For sure. And it's something that we should be proud of and continue being proud of. All right. So with you for our first short break, um, ad break, and we will be back in a little bit.
Creating videos can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. Let me show you how Veed makes it easy in just 3 steps. Step 1. Upload your video to Veed's platform. It's as simple as drag and drop, no tech skills needed. Step 2. Edit your video with powerful tools. Add text, music, and effects to make it pop. Step 3. Export your masterpiece in seconds. Share it with the world and watch your creativity shine. Want to try it out? Use code VEED20 for a discount. Stop stressing and start creating with Veed today.
Great. All right. So all right, so we're back, and I'm so happy that we're having this conversation. I'm enjoying it so far. I hope that my audience is enjoying it as much as I am. Um, what challenges do you guys have selling this language to a younger audience? Because in Saint Lucia, and I guess in other countries, so maybe Dominica as well, Creole is seen by some individuals as quote unquote an older language, a language of the older people, and I think that that is killing our the beauty of the language amongst youth. So how do you sell this language to a younger audience, younger people like yourselves?
I would say one of the challenges that we maybe face is about the re-education of how we think of the language, and how we see
Mm-hmm.
see the language, literally calling it a language. I was with someone last night, and she was
Mm-hmm.
like, "No, we don't speak Patois, we speak Creole." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you say it." Um, And I was so proud because she is a first gen Saint Lucian, but she had such
Mm-hmm.
pride when she spoke about Creole, and I was like, oh, that's so beautiful to watch because it's literally just about how we it starts with us and how we think about something first, and then it can spread. But I also think just how we present the information has been super accessible, and yeah.
Yeah, so we started, on social media, and where um how we started. If you scroll right down to our page, even sometimes the first thing we ever posted was a, I don't know if I can curse, maybe not curse, but with some bad
All right.
words. With some bad
Swears.
words,
Yeah.
right? Yes. And some people would have been like, oh my God, that's horrible. You can't say that. Blah, 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 blah. But that's what's engaging. That's what's fun. You've heard that
Yeah.
for sure. Whether you live in Senegal, whether you're not, whether you're first generation,
Mm.
second generation, your mother already tell you something about your father's head, right? Or about your mother's head, right? It's how we speak to people in their
Mm-hmm.
language. So what's exciting when you learn a language for the first time, when you're picking things up, are those little cheeky, swear words and whatever. And that's how we kind of started, and how we still kind of continue to this day, to be fair. But another thing that's really been a challenge for us with Creole, like you said, because people see it as an old people language, and you know, how do we access this information? How do you learn how to speak Creole, how to write Creole, whatever? And so, because we found that challenge, we're like, okay, let's make sure our stuff is
Mm-hmm.
digitalized. So we have an online course that you can access wherever in the world. Whether you live in Poland, but somehow you find yourself there as a Saint Lucian.
Right.
Whether you live in Saint Lucia itself, it's not based on our time, and you can still access things. And one of the also like really cool things that how we integrate the arts into Creole and stuff is that, for example, when we do workshops, when we do, maybe that's a poetry workshop, we just had a herbal residency in St. Lucia. When we went into the schools with the young people, it was very important for them to also learn the words of our herbs in Creole. So how do you say ginger?
Mm-hmm.
Gingembre. So that they can also recognize, oh, these are things that actually do affect my life and I use on a daily basis. But it's, oh, there's a Creole word for it, and I can still relate to my grandmother when she's talking to me about
Right.
X, Y,
Right.
and Z. You know?
Right. And I think one of the challenges, and that's what I'm hearing, because that is what happened in my own family situation, is that so when my father was growing up, Creole, speaking Creole in the house to his mother was seen as disrespectful. So she could speak Creole to him, but he couldn't speak Creole to her. And because of that, linguistically, he had some challenges developing. So he could understand it, he can speak Creole, but it's not as smooth as it could have been. And I'm seeing that is kind of a challenge that one generation would have passed down to a younger generation. And we need to find ways to fix that error, because I mean, Creole is something to be proud of. It's not something to be ashamed of. And I'm seeing that you guys are doing just that. So
Thank
I
you.
love that. I love that. I am proud of the work that you guys are doing and continue to do. So okay, so how do you guys truly preserve tradition while also appealing to modern and newer audiences, not just younger audiences, but audiences that might not be Saint Lucian, might just be interested, but you still want to keep it as as local, as Creole as possible. How do you balance these two things?
Um,
Yeah, it's a fantastic question.
Sorry.
Do you want to take it or shall I?
Sure.
Do you want to take the
I
question or shall
think
I?
you can add to mine. The duality.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh
so
my
I
God.
think in the same thing as we're saying, as in keeping a lot of things digital, um, is one way in which we appeal to new audiences because you literally never know who's watching you, who's sharing your content, who has eyes on it. For example, we had a student from Taiwan one time, and I was like, "How did you even find us?" Right? And so I think it's about one, keeping our things digital, and keeping
Mm-hmm.
resources that are digital, things that people can access wherever, but also still sometimes appealing to virality of things. So, for example, when we lived in Central a few years ago, um, just doing really funny videos sometimes, but in Creole and keeping that humor, which is very Saint Lucian, which is very of the Caribbean. We are humorous people. And the way that we present information sometimes is very humorous. And I think how we have presented information over the years um, has been able to unlock new audiences so often, which is great. But also just in terms of our offerings with our digital course, our one-to-ones, but then hopefully next year we'll be starting live webinars, so we can get new audiences and people can come and learn more bits in Creole.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Another way that we also, to answer your question, that we appeal to new audiences while still keeping it local is that we bring students to St. Lucia.
Mm.
We have brought we brought a few schools now from the UK to St. Lucia on an arts and cultural program. So they will be on island with us for 8 to 10 days, and they've got a
Mm.
very, very amazing a program where they have got to engage with our cultural art forms in St. Lucia, as well as Creole. So they will have Creole lessons in the morning, and their Creole lesson will then lead on to the art activity that they have in the afternoon. So if, for example, it's a day where in Creole we're learning about colors and sounds and whatever, the afternoon activity might be around Carnival, so that they understand the history of
Mm.
Carnival. And that's something that we run with Fiona Compton from New York Caribbean. We engage youth in arts, um, Perry, who's an artist. And so you're learning language in a fun way, and then they're actually able to utilize it um, in real life with people on island, with students that they also meet, because we go into schools in St. Lucia. So that's one way that we've been able to appeal to like a modern society or a different society outside of St. Lucia, by still coming to St. Lucia and bringing people to St. Lucia.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So they actually get, so it's not just theory, they actually get the practical aspect in terms of actually feeling, mingling among the people. And it that plays perfectly in the tourism link to St. Lucia, because we really rely on that with people coming in physically to St. Lucia, so they can get, just not just the hearing and learning of the language, but they can get to actually practice with a St. Lucian. So I see how that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, so do you guys have so many, you are so talented, you have so many talents. So do you guys see yourselves as cultural educators, performers, or both? What do you guys see yourself as?
As two saints, we're definitely cultural
Okay.
educators, um, but we're also human
Mm-hmm.
beings, right? And so, outside of two saints, we have our own
Mm-hmm.
crafts. I'm a poet, and so I perform poetry. That makes me a performer. My own interests then link into two saints and how we program things, or what we have on our modules for our Creole course. And so, yes, as two saints, cultural educators. As Indira Toussaint, who is the creative
Mm.
extraordinaire, who is, you can book me to model, you can book me to do
Say
voiceovers,
it.
you can book me to do
Mm.
poetry. I'll perform. Oh, honey, I'll perform. But I also give you some history in there
Okay.
too. I also come with my solution self too.
There we go.
Beautiful. So you
Oh,
agree? You agree
absolutely.
100%.
Because yeah, as two
Okay.
saints, we will do all the cultural things, and in our personal lives, we do that too. But then there's also more, just other things that we both do, and we feed all of that into
Beautiful.
two saints too, which is great.
Beautiful. Now you guys have become part of the diaspora, and I from what I understand, because I've had other people from the diaspora here, is that sometimes it feels like, it's two worlds fighting against each other. Like, yes, in London, very much a Londoner, but also very much a Saint Lucian. How do you guys balance that those two worlds that definitely are fighting inside of you? Or do they work together somehow harmoniously?
Mm.
Maybe in Kim, you
That's a
can
good
go first.
question because I think maybe when I was younger, I thought they were fighting against
Hmm.
each other, and it felt like
Okay.
one had to win, one had to lose. I.e., accent. An accent is a
Yes.
simple way to think about that, right? And
Right.
being in
Right.
school and having a different accent and feeling like, oh, I need to assimilate. I need to sound like my friends around me. But
Hmm.
being a bit older now and no longer being in my head about my accent. So sometimes I sound more Saint sometimes I sound more British.
Hmm.
Sometimes I will listen to
Yes, I can
drill,
hate.
and sometimes I'll listen to soca. The duality is there, and I think now that I'm older, I embrace it a lot more. And I think it's also it's a good testament to our students as well. And it's something I like to remind our students of, that they will never actually sound like people who live in St. Lucia when learning the language and when trying to acquire the language. You don't live there, you don't have that accent. Your accent literally tells your story of where you're from, of the lives that you have lived.
Hmm.
And so you can never sound like St. Lucians. And that's something that we need to immediately let go of, that fear and that thing of, oh, I don't sound like them. You won't. You can't. You don't have a certain accent. Neither do I.
Right.
But here we are, learning and trying, and doing the thing. And I think that's what's important, to not get lost in thinking that there is a battle and one has to win and one has to lose, because it's all part of your story and your journey. Is how I like to look at it and think about it.
Be- Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh wow, thank you.
Perfectly said.
You guys are so in sync. It's crazy. You know, I would assume that you guys do disagree sometimes, but it doesn't sound like it happens often. Or does it?
Oh, 100%. 100% we disagree. We're different
Yeah, yeah,
people,
for sure.
but we're also very
Very
similar.
sure.
And so it works. It works very beautifully. And I'm very thankful to be on this journey with my
For sure.
sister.
For sure.
You know, at the end of the day, she's my
For sure.
sister.
I'm guessing that makes it a lot easier as well. You know, it's somebody that you love, somebody that you actually, know very well. All right, so we're due for another break, and we will be right back with more Two Saints after it. Bruh, people keep asking me, how do I get into this podcast space? How do I actually get into podcasting? But it's so easy. I don't know why you guys are overcomplicating it. All you need is a browser and riverside.fm. It's that simple. This tool is designed to simplify high quality video and audio online. Whether you're doing interviews for your startup, doing a live webinar, or just need some talking head clips, it records everything locally. This means that even if your internet lags, you get smooth video quality at 4K and smooth audio as well. Plus, it turns your long form episodes into short clips that you can share across social media. If you want to start podcasting or recording online like a pro, click the link down below. Alright, so guys, we're back to the final part of this amazing interview, final part of the conversation. And I am here with the Two Saints, and I want you guys to answer these, I think, deep soul
Ooh.
searching questions. And the first one is, what projects are you guys most excited about? And that excitement is not just a professional excitement, but a passionate excitement. What projects that you guys are currently working on that you are most excited about? Either one can go first.
Indy, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Um, what are we most excited? Well, what am I most excited about? I have a couple of things. But one thing in terms of our Two Saints world that I'm really excited about is well, we'll be coming down in March. We've got a wonderful group of students that we will have on island again doing our cultural and heritage program. And those trips are always amazing. So I'm really excited about that. Um, I'm also really looking forward to, we can't say too much about it as yet, but we've got some stuff in the
Got you.
works. To be, yeah, to have our Two Saints presence on ground more sustainably, even when we're not there. Um, and so that is going to be really excited when we launch that in 2026. Hey. In my personal life, I'm really excited to continue learning and healing through herbs. And interestingly enough, Kim and I are starting the Artist Way come January the
Wow.
5th. And so I'm really excited to do this 12-week program to get into our
Bag.
creative soul searching selves, and explore in a very organized way, which I've never looked at my own artistry in that way. So
Mm, mm,
many
mm,
things to be
mm.
excited about, to be fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um,
Kim?
excited for our March trip because we just have a few things that we want to tick off whilst we are on ground in March. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I just love being home, doing work home. Um, there's nothing quite like it. Yeah, and I think just stuff that we've got planned for next year, which includes our webinars, more in-person events that we also want to host in the UK, but also what else? Yeah, I'd say also the Indira was just on ground as hosting a residency as part of, I guess, is it I wouldn't call it a consortium, but a group of Caribbean
Mhm.
creatives. And I'm really excited to see how that develops, where that goes, and how it carries on, the sustainability of it, because it's with a group from Martinique, Dominica, and just seeing how that grows and expands is really, really exciting.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So I know you guys are excited about those things, but if you can look into the future, next 5 years, what will this brand look like?
Cool. One of the things in 5 years' time that I really want for Two Saints is that we've established our on ground like sustainable
Mhm.
projects and stuff. Our flagship project, sorry, that we have on ground. And from there, we're actually, whilst we're based in Saint Lucia, our work is able to connect and incorporate a lot more islands. And actually, we're able to yeah, bring that joy, bring that sense of connection, bring that sense of wholeness, of groundedness, um, to other islands. And look at how we can, not look at how, but essentially be doing, um, but allowing creatives to feed into the creative economy in a way that benefits them, that's ethical and that's
Mhm.
sustainable. um, that's also something that we're really excited for. That's in our 5 year plan of how we really empower artists in St. Lucia and in the Caribbean and allow them to have sustainable careers as artists and not just look to go into England and Canada and New York to be these amazing artists that they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. Anything else?
Um,
Or that's aligned,
Pretty
pretty
much
much
aligned.
aligned.
It would also be nice to. I think we've been joking about having like a building in St. Lucia that we do things from, and we do workshops, and we do these things from. And I think that would be a nice goal, something to aspire to.
Yes. Yes, I've now there have been conversations. I'm a journalist, so I can tell you guys that there have been conversations about having some sort of creative center like nationally. When that will actually come to fruition, being solutions, you guys know, you know our struggle,
Yeah,
right? But when that will actually come to fruition, we don't know. But let's hope that it comes very very soon, so that goal can be realized not just for you guys, but for solution creatives in general.
Absolutely.
that would be
For sure.
amazing.
For sure it would be. All right. So, my final question before we wrap up, if you could collaborate with any St. Lucian or Caribbean artist, who would it be and why? I want one from each of you. I mean, that's other than me, obviously. I mean,
What?
Other than Queen, obviously you want to collaborate with Queen and Game Changers. I mean, that's a given. That's a, you don't even have to say that. But other than me, who would you like to collaborate with and why?
Mm-hmm.
That's so hard. Can we have a couple?
Okay, fine, fine. You can have
Thank
more
you.
than one. It doesn't have to be one.
Merci.
Thank you.
Go, sister.
No?
Um. Okay, so I'll say two. I'll
Mm-hmm.
say two. One person that I would love us to collaborate with. I'll say two. What I'm gonna say two is one of the
Literally.
diaspora and one. Well, actually, yeah, one of the diaspora and one that's like on ground kind of thing. Um, Telling Tales.
Mm-hmm.
They are a group of artists and historians and researchers who are preserving folklore tales. Yeah, we would love to work with them, collaborate with them. Like they're amazing. Anybody who's kind of in that space of preservation tells us that you understand the necessity
Mm-hmm.
for this, and people we like working with people where we're aligned. Um, so yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Them for sure. And then on ground, um, who should I say? My on ground person. I mean, we already collaborate, but even more collaborations with Fiona Compton from New York
Yes.
Caribbean. She is
Mm-hmm.
amazing, and the work that she does for the wider Caribbean and for all of us is just phenomenal. And so yeah, Fee.
Beautiful, beautiful. By the way, I want that link, guys. I'm saying it on the record. I need Fiona Compton here. I need to have a conversation with her. I agree with you guys. She is an amazing individual, and
Yes.
I love to pick her brain.
It's a beautiful brain to pick. It is. She is
She's very
amazing.
amazing.
Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine. All
Um,
right,
for
next.
me, I would say, and I don't want to butcher her last name. So diaspora,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Jade. She goes by Jade the Gemini. And I don't want to butcher her actual like handle, but if you search Jade the Gemini, it comes up. She is a Dominican creator, and I think the moment I came across her videos, I was like, oh, she sounds exactly like us. And she does videos in Creole, but also in English. And she just speaks about the diaspora
Yes.
and just, yeah, it's just super relatable. And I would love to be able to do something with her because I think it's really interesting and important for us to see our similarities, to understand that Creole is not just Saint Lucia, it connects us to so many more people, and not just Dominica, but Haiti, Trinidad. There's a small community in Brazil where they speak our Creole, which I found insane.
Wow.
Venezuela as well. It's called Venezuela. It's VTC or something like that. And so
Wow.
I think it's important for us to see how far our connection can really go. Um, and so Jade is one person, but locally, I would say, and again, we also already work with these people, but Ethan Arts. And I love, love,
Yes.
love the work that Auntie June has done and is doing with the group, of how she's reviving the masquerade, how she's teaching it, how she's bringing it to other communities. Um, I, I always say if I wasn't Senisha, I feel like I'd be a masquerader. I would
All right.
100% be in that group. And so anything that we can do, to continue the work to push it further, I'm all for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. These are amazing names, and this is what Game Changers is about. We help connect individuals. So hopefully somebody sees this, and yeah, the connection happens. So I look forward to playing that role, and if that is the majority of what comes from this podcast episode, then I will have done my job. So I am very happy that you let this out in the universe, in the atmosphere. I hope somebody grabs onto it. All right. All right, guys. This has been
Yes.
an amazing conversation. We quickly have come to an end. It doesn't feel like we've been having this conversation for as long as we've actually been having it. I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come here. You guys are so beautiful, both inside and out. Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for all that you're doing for Creole and for Saint Lucia. I love seeing individuals flying that 758 flag anywhere in the world. So thank you for what you've done, and thank you for what you continue doing.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you, Quinn. That's so
you.
that's so sweet of you. But thank you, because this podcast, young people being able to listen to all the different guests that you have and to be inspired and to, oftentimes you have to see somebody before you can even believe that you have
Yeah.
the capability of doing
Yes.
something. And you forming this platform, having people on speaking about their journeys, about the challenges that people can learn from, can be inspired to. You're amazing. And thank you for this interview, but also for your general work. Those you used to be on RCI. You still do it?
No, so well, I was on Hot FM, so you'd see
That's
you'll
it.
hear my voice. Well, I was on RCI once. I did an interview there, but
Yes.
I'm only on Hot FM.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And there's a background to it,
All
but
right.
yes, nonetheless, you're an amazing
You are.
interviewer, and thank you so much for all the work that
Thank
you
you very
do.
much. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So this has been yet another Game Changers podcast episode. Remember to like and subscribe. Remember to subscribe to the Game Changers Hub. Yes, we've changed the name. It's no longer just the Game Changers podcast. It's the Game Changers Hub. Wherever you get your podcast, we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Like and subscribe on YouTube and share it. Also, make sure to get Lucian your Lucian Game Changers merchandise, which is available in Viewfort at the airport and available with me. Our website is about to come back, so people in the diaspora can also connect with Game Changers as well. But anyhow, as usual, stay hungry, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.